Wedding rings have played an important role in cultures around the world for centuries. A symbol of love, commitment and union, wedding rings have a rich and fascinating history that spans back to ancient times. In this video, we will explore the origin stories of wedding bands and how different civilizations have adapted to this timeless tradition over time. Wedding rings can be traced back to ancient Egypt, where they were seen as a symbol of eternal love. The Egyptians believed that the circle symbolized eternity, as it had no beginning or end, representing the infinite love that couples shared. The circular shape also represented a sense of wholeness and completion, an idea that continues to be associated with wedding rings even today. The space in the middle of the circle was seen as the gateway to the future, representing the unknown possibilities that lay ahead for the couple. The ancient Egyptians would exchange rings made of reeds and leather as a sign of commitment. The reeds, which were found growing on the banks of the Nile River, were braided and then twisted into rings. They would then be covered with leather to reinforce the structure of the ring. These early rings were not as durable as those used today and were mostly worn by women. However, they were still an important part of the wedding ceremony as they represented the promise of everlasting love. The space in the middle of the circle was referred to as the gateway to the future by the ancient Egyptians. They believed that the future was a place of limitless opportunities, where infinite love and growth were possible. The circular shape of the ring was thought to represent the idea that the future was uncertain, yet full of endless possibilities that a couple would face together. Wedding rings were seen as a physical reminder to the couple of their commitment to one another and to step boldly into the unknown future, confident in their love and partnership. The ancient Romans were also known for their wedding rings, with iron being the preferred metal for crafting them. Iron, being a strong and durable metal, was the perfect choice for representing the strength of the bond between couples. Roman men commonly wore their wedding rings on their left hand, just like we do today. However, unlike modern-day tradition, women would only receive a ring if their husband-to-be could afford it. As gold became more prevalent in ancient Rome, it gradually replaced iron as the metal of choice for wedding rings. Gold and silver rings were not just a symbol of love and commitment but also of wealth and social status. Couples would have their names and wedding dates engraved on the inside of the ring. Some rings were even designed with small keys attached to them as a sign of the husband's ownership of his wife and her household. These keys were meant to be worn as part of the overall ornamentation of the ring and were not actually functional. Religion played a significant role in the design of Roman wedding rings. The Christians believed that the ring should be blessed before it could be worn, representing the sanctity of marriage. Pagan rings, on the other hand, had symbols of gods and goddesses engraved on them, representing the union of two souls and a divine blessing on the marriage. These rings often had intricate designs such as the image of two hands grasping each other or two doves drinking from the same cup, symbolizing a lifelong commitment to each other. The tradition of wearing a wedding ring on the fourth finger of the left hand, also known as the ring finger, can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome. The ancient Greeks believed that the fourth finger was connected to the heart by a vein, known as the vena amoris, or the vein of love. The Romans subsequently adopted this belief, with many wearing wedding rings on the fourth finger of their left hand as a symbol of their love and commitment. This tradition has continued over time and remains popular even today. The ancient Romans believed that the vena amoris, or the vein of love, ran directly from the fourth finger of the left hand to the heart. It was thought that wearing a wedding ring on this finger would allow the ring to be closer to the heart, representing the love and commitment of the couple. While we now know that this belief was purely fictional, the tradition of wearing wedding rings on the fourth finger of the left hand has continued and has become a common practice in many cultures worldwide. The tradition of wearing wedding rings on the fourth finger of the left hand has endured for centuries, with different cultures associating different meanings with the practice. Today, wedding rings are seen as a symbol of love, commitment and a sign of the couple's unbreakable bond. While trends may evolve, the tradition of wearing wedding rings will continue to be an important part of any marriage ceremony and a timeless symbol of love and commitment. In the Middle Ages, it was customary for only the bride to receive a wedding ring as a sign of her commitment to her husband. These rings were typically made of gold or silver and were often decorated with intricate designs or gemstones. The groom, on the other hand, did not always receive a ring. Instead, gifts of land or property were given to the husband to compensate for his lack of a ring. However, some grooms did receive a ring, usually a simple band that matched the bride's ring. It wasn't until the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century that wedding rings became a symbol of love and commitment for both partners. During this time, marriage was viewed as a covenant between two equals rather than a sacrament performed by the Church. As a result, both the bride and groom were seen as equal partners in the marriage, and both began wearing wedding rings as a symbol of their commitment to each other. The practice quickly spread to other Christian denominations and has since become a widely accepted tradition. Today, it is customary for both partners to exchange wedding rings as a symbol of their love and commitment to each other. Wedding rings come in a variety of styles and materials, from traditional gold or silver bands to more modern designs featuring diamonds or other gemstones. Some couples even choose to have their wedding rings customized with engravings or other personal touches. Regardless of the style or material chosen, the exchange of wedding rings remains an important and meaningful tradition, symbolizing a couple's shared commitment to each other. The modern tradition of exchanging wedding rings during a ceremony is a widely practiced tradition across cultures worldwide. This ceremony typically takes place after the exchange of vows and signifies the couple's shared commitment to each other. During the ceremony, the couple will exchange rings and often say personal vows or phrases to each other. This moment is a highly emotional and intimate part of the ceremony and symbolizes the couple's love, commitment, and willingness to spend the rest of their lives together. As technology has advanced, there has been an increasing diversity in wedding ring materials and designs. Traditional materials such as gold and silver remain popular, but couples now have the option to choose from a wide range of materials such as titanium, platinum, tungsten, and even wood. Designs have also diversified to include various styles, finishes, and gemstones such as diamonds, sapphires, and rubies. Some couples opt to have their wedding rings customized with engravings or personal touches that reflect their unique personalities and love story. Despite the advancements in materials and designs, the underlying meaning of wedding rings remains the same: a symbol of love, commitment, and a lifelong promise to each other. The circular shape of the wedding ring symbolizes the eternity of love, with no beginning or end. The exchange of wedding rings signifies the couple's willingness to stand by each other, through thick and thin, and symbolizes the start of their shared journey of love and companionship. And while materials and designs may change over time, the enduring symbolism of wedding rings remains constant. And that concludes our journey exploring the history of wedding rings. From the ancient Egyptians to today's modern couples, wedding rings have evolved throughout history, but their symbol of love and commitment has remained constant. As technology advances, we can only wonder what the future holds for wedding rings. Who knows, maybe in the future, wedding rings will have new features and technology that allows them to be even more special and meaningful. Only time will tell.